friends, my name is Maureen Hosty, and I'm with the 4-H Youth Extension Program here in Multnomah County, and I'm so excited that you will be working with your teacher to raise salmon from a tank, even though you will be doing it virtually. Hopefully along this process you'll be learning a little bit about salmon by watching videos and communicating with your teacher. What I'd like to do today is actually show you a little bit about what raising salmon is all about. So as you will see, we have our tank set up here. I have it set up here in my garage. And what we're trying to do with this tank is replicate it as close as possible to what is actually going to be happening or the habitat that they've come from in the Sandy River, because we'll be getting our eggs tomorrow. And when we put the eggs in, we want the habitat to be as close as possible to where they're coming from. So as you'll see, we have a number of things that help us create habitat, because there's 4 things that our salmon are going to need in order to be healthy. And one is, just like us, humans, they need clean water. So it's very important that there's no pesticides or chemicals like in the rivers, and just like here with our tank, we're going to make sure the water stays clean. A second thing that the salmon are going to need is cold water. And in the Sandy River, generally it's around 45 to 50 degrees. We're going to keep our tank around 50 degrees. A third thing that the salmon are going to need is, just like us, they need oxygen. When they're in the river, a lot of the oxygen they get is from the plants that are growing in the river, but also from the stream or the flow of the streams or the rivers, the ripples in the water, things like that helps create oxygen. So that's a third thing they're going to need. And the last thing is that the salmon are going to need it fairly dark. These are just eggs that are just going to be hatching, and so being able to have a place where it's dark for them is important. So we'll be talking about that as well. So as you can see here from our tank, we have a lot of things that we're going to need in order to have a healthy habitat. The first thing, as you'll see back here, is this little box, and that is the filter. And what that does is it sucks up the water and cleans it. So that's one of the ways we're going to keep the water clean. The other thing we'll be doing is, which I'll be showing you in the next video, is actually testing the water, making sure the balance is right and the water is clean. So that's one thing we'll be doing to make sure the tank is kept clean. The second thing is they need something to keep it cold. So this is what's called a chiller. And the chiller is like a mini refrigerator. And there's a pump here inside the tank. And what that pump does is it sucks up the water from the tank, it puts it through the tubing, and it goes into the chiller. The chiller makes it cold, and then it sends it back out through here into the tank. So those are the things that we kind of keep the water cold. The third thing is the oxygen. So how do we keep the oxygen in the water? There's a couple ways we do that. One is, you can see the filter as it's creating a cascade effect, and it's making bubbles in the water. That's one of the ways that we're getting oxygen. Another is, you'll see that we have this air bubble or air stone that creates bubbles in the water. So that helps create some oxygen. And then third is this disperser, which actually sends out water to make it cold. And it sends like a little stream. And so it's shooting out water to also create bubbles. So we're getting it clean, we're keeping it cold, and we're getting the oxygen. So the last thing is keeping it dark. So I have it in my garage. So when I'm not here in the garage, I have the lights off and it's dark. I do have a window here, so there's a little bit of light that comes in. So on days where it's sunny, I have like a cover to put over the tank to keep it dark. So those are the 4 things that we're going to try and create with our habitat. So when our eggs come tomorrow, you'll have a chance to see when the eggs go in that they're going to be in habitat pretty similar to what they had when they left the Sandy River. Great, we'll see you tomorrow.